Hello, welcome to my channel Competence Development Academy. Today's discussion topic is what is sociology? We are basically going to discuss about the sociology introduction and about the social groups, types of social groups. So it's a very basic and fundamental knowledge which is required in the field of sociology. We are going to discuss it. If we try to understand sociology, it is generally defined as the science of society. It basically studies the social systems. And if we will compare it to other social sciences like economics and political science, it is understand a young discipline. Or we can understand that it is only a 150-year-old subject. But there has been a major rapid development of the subject in the last decade. This is partly due to desire, particularity after the Second World War to understand more about the behavior of people in social situations. All social sciences subjects are connected with the behavior of people, but each of them studies different aspects. So, in case of sociology, we can say that it is concerned with social relations in general and with social groups and institutions in particular. So, if we will try to understand the general definition of sociology or meaning of sociology, then we can say sociology can be defined as a study of society or social life, of group interactions, and of social behavior. The origin of this word is has both Greek and Latin. The word comes from Latin is called socius, which means companion, and the suffix logy describes the study of Greek origin. So we can understand that sociology is the study of individual and society, or under this subject, we studies social institutions, their interrelationships. The people who understand or who study sociology, they are usually called sociologists, and they study family, individual, community, religions, and more other institutions, and power dynamics are also inherent in it. So they study all these developments. If we will try to understand the emergence of sociology, then we can see that during the 19th century, sociology emerged as a separate social science subject in Europe, and its objectives was to understand the society, basically the study of society. Auguste Comte, Spencer, and Emile Durkheim, there are several social thinkers which have set this idea, and they helped us to understand the sociology in different way. They gives their different theories, and we try to understand sociology from their perspective. There are various social thinkers which are available here. These thinkers generally examine the society as a whole, which is more than the sums of its part. So society becomes here more than the actions, thoughts, values, beliefs, and wishes of the individuals who lives within the society, or we can say who are the members of the society. So it is a complex and abstract reality which generally sociology studied, but all the human beings lives in a society, so there are individuality but there is complexity also. So sociology study all these behaviors. Or if we will try to understand more in depth, so we can say a sociologist is generally interested in general study of social behavior because it occurs in groups, large or small groups, and it also lays a special stress on understanding social life in the contemporary world. So this is very important to understand that a sociology is relatively young discipline compared with the other discipline like philosophy, economics, political science. And sometimes people generally confuse it with social work. So we have to understand that there is a difference between social work and sociology. Sociology is used in the discipline of social work to analyze and understand social problems. And social work is concerned with the uplift of those socially deprived, physically handicapped persons, or I will say the marginalized society. For their betterment, social work we study. So, sociology is not concerned with the reformation of society. We should not mistake by this. Sociology is not concerned with the reformation of society, and nor it is directly involved in social planning or directed change. Sociological understanding help us in better planning and in finding the different ways and different means of acceptance of improved practices to make the policies and different programs. So this is the basic work of sociology. Because sociology study human behavior, so human behavior is basically studied in social groups because human being is born in a society everywhere, and the social life is basically lived in the groups, whether large or small groups. So basically we can understand that the groups have different meanings and we can use the groups in different ways. There might be a group which is watching a game in progress, you know. There might be a group people crossing a street. So in the sociology, group is viewed in a different ways. It has already been mentioned by me that the basic interest of sociology is the study of human social behavior. So if we will try to understand the group, so group we can understand in the different ways. Like we can understand the group, a group of person, like where two or more persons are coming together, they are forming a group, that is a group of persons. We can understand the group by analyzing the interaction in which is happening in the group, like there is a regularity in the social relations based on shared beliefs, values and norms. So they are also doing representation of a group where we can see the patterned interaction of behavior between the different people. And this interaction, this is also a very important feature, that the interaction which is happening between the group is sustained over a period of time. So these are some basic features um, by which we can understand what are social groups and what sociologists generally study in the sociology. A basic question also emerge here, that why social groups are important, what need they fulfill. So to understand that, we can say that basically social groups are, or any group are generally formed to satisfy some human needs. You know, survival is a basic human need, and the survivors generally, especially in the case of human being, we need a family. So family has become a social group here. So and this family is, you know, enabling that need, various needs of the human being. So as an individual, it is not possible for the human being to fulfill their needs by themselves, because human beings lives in the society, in the social group, and they cannot live their life in the isolation. That will be very dangerous for them. So it is through the groups that the individuals fulfill their need, you know. And we also received many kind of satisfactions by living in the groups and being the part of any group. So it becomes very important to study these social groups and what are those different types of social groups. And I will come on to the next slide about the types of social groups. But before that, I would like to mention one more important point, that the solidarity of a group is dependent upon the frequency of interaction and the emotional attachment to it. So this is very important, and this is a very important feature of social group. So social groups are of basically two types. The first we call primary groups, where family, play groups, or a small community. can come. And the secondary groups are those group, for example, a student body of a large college, which they are, they are doing the representation of a college. So primary group basically are based on very close or intimate relationship, and the emotional involvement is also a one important feature of primary groups. So when I have said the family, so family is fulfilling that function where emotions are also attached with the members, different members of the family. In so family is doing what? One try to analyze one's behavior within the family and the functions. So basically, family is performing for each individual of member of the family, and one can understand that the importance of primary group is very important in shaping the ideas, beliefs, norms of the different members. If I will come to the secondary groups are basically those groups where different members interact with one another in a very specific range of activities. The relationship in the secondary group are more casual, impersonal, and it happens only for the specific purposes. The interaction happens only for some specific issues. But in the family, it is opposite, where we are interacting with the family member of and we are expressing our emotions, we are showing our attachments, showing our loves to the family members. But in the secondary groups, it is contrary. You know, people working in a factory are also an example of secondary group as they relate to each others as workers. And the understanding of the nature of the groups and their function is very important to understand the social behavior, because we in this particular lecture we are trying to understand what sociology do. Sociology study the social behaviors. How sociology study the social behaviors? They study the social behaviors by studying the different groups, and they understand the interaction patterns, that how different groups works. So this particular lecture helps us to understand all these important concepts. Thank you so much for listening my lecture and giving your valuable time to this. If you like this, please subscribe to my channel, and we will come with more educational videos in the coming time. Thank you.